Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Claiborne, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am co-founder and CEO of Transformation Journeys Worldwide, an inclusion, training, and consulting firm with a trans and gender expansive focus. As a trans-owned NGLCC certified LGBT business enterprise, we help organizations on their journey of transforming their environments into fully gender diverse, inclusive cultures. I am honored to be joined by my fellow Trans and Gender Expansive Initiative co-chair, Gabrielle Legend, as we bring you this year's Transgender Day of Visibility celebration. As all of us are beginning to anticipate what our post-pandemic new normal looks like, we are excited for what 2022 will bring to the TGX initiative as it relates to intentional programming, relevant resources, tangible opportunities, and increased visibility. We're so grateful to the NGLCC for leveraging their relationships, resources, and assets to set us, TGX entrepreneurs, up for success. And speaking of visibility, with every attempt that is made to discriminate, eliminate, and erase us, now more than ever, our visibility and successes as TGX entrepreneurs substantiate our community's competency, value, and humanity. You could say our visibility is viability. With every certification, with every success story, with every awarded contract, we draw a line in the sand and stake our claim that we are to be taken seriously as worthwhile contributing citizens. But this visibility is not just for our own benefit. It's a way that we can honor those who came before us and through their own visibility made it possible for us to have a chance to show up in this world authentically. It's a way that we can pay it forward and lay a foundation of possibilities, opportunities, and hope for those who are following in our footsteps. The ripple effect of our visibility transcends any attempt to discredit our credibility. So for this Transgender Week of Visibility, and every week, I celebrate your visibility. I celebrate your courage. I celebrate your success. We are a resilient community, and now is the time to assert our viability. So please join me in welcoming my friend and co-chair, Gabrielle Legend. Welcome, Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Hi, my name is Gabrielle Legend, and I'm the founder and CEO of Visionary IT. At Visionary IT, we partner with businesses to offer marketing and technology solutions that help corporate brands expand their online footprint while simultaneously securing their digital presence. Our mission is to give business owners back their time and confidence while drastically reducing risks and increasing brand reputation. As a TGX-owned, NGLCC certified LGBT business enterprise, I'm so excited to be here today. And I want to personally welcome each of you to today's celebration. Trans Day of Visibility is truly a celebration because it's a reminder of our resilience. It's a reminder of the impact that we each have within the community when we decide to show up as our authentic selves. Our ability to wake up and make a conscious choice to thrive in the midst of adversity is what makes our community unique. The work that my co-chair Gabrielle and I are doing with the NGLCC TGX initiative is so important because it is in direct support of TGX businesses that have been historically undersupported and underrepresented. This initiative is our seat at the table of opportunity. And our plan is to continue to make space for our thriving TGX businesses through partnerships, resources, and ongoing support. Today, we are going to hear from our incredible suppliers and stakeholders across the NGLCC network, including a very special conversation led by Ashley T. Brundage and several NGLCC suppliers. Again, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy today's program.
Hi, my name is Cindy Grace Miller. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and my company is Insurance Happiness. Insurance Happiness may seem like an oxymoron, but our brokerage is different in that we actually know how to bring real happiness to your benefit program and to your employees. We know how to lower the bottom line of your healthcare spending, while at the same time increasing the health of your employees and lowering what they spend on healthcare. That is why we are proud to be certified with the NGLCC. Certification allows us to connect with clients who not only care about their employees' health, but also care about their employees' well-being. I want you and your employees to see that individuals of trans experience can not only show up in the corporate space like everyone else, but we also have unique perspective advantages that allow us to provide an even higher level of care and service to our clients. By partnering with a business owner such as myself, you say to the world, and especially your employees, that you value and support them regardless of their differences, and that you want the best for them.
Hi, my name's Robbie Samuels. I use he, him pronouns. My company is called Robbie Samuels LLC. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Prior to the pandemic, I spent over a decade working to be recognized as a networking expert. I launched a podcast. I spoke all over the world. I published a book and did a TEDx talk. We were all moving online, so I had to reinvent myself. I became a virtual event design consultant and executive Zoom producer because I believe events are about content and connection, even virtual events. I was able to grow a thriving company very quickly. In 2021, I released a new book, Small List, Big Results, to share how to grow an audience before you try to sell a new offer. There's a lot that I do in a lot of ways I can offer value to anyone, any company, but I think in particular, it's important that I am a certified LGBTBE, and I love being part of this community, connecting to my peers and having access to these amazing resources. I mean, openly visible as a trans person is my activism, my way of sharing in the world that there are lots of people out there, lots of different ways to be in the world and to share my values. I want to work with people who have those shared values, so it's important for me to put them forward first. And I do so online and in conversations with my prospects. And happy Trans Visibility Day.
My name is Joanne Culver. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am gender nonconforming, genderqueer, and I am the owner of Diversity Counseling in Nevada. I'm a licensed alcohol and drug counselor in Nevada. What is certification important? Well, it gives me visibility. And as we are coming up on Transgender Day of Visibility, I can put forward that as one of the 1 to 2 million transgender, genderqueer people, that I am a professional. Certification gives me the ability to reach people I normally wouldn't be able to reach. So what can allies do? Well, what allies can do is they can refer their clients to us. You know, as once again, I'm a professional, and I have an ability to be able to relate to people that are in similar situations.
Greetings all, I'm author and board certified holistic healthcare practitioner Liam Jean Adair, pronouns he, him, his. As the founder and CEO of Wholesome Healing, my purpose is to help my clients use natural remedies and develop a unique healing plan to address their physical, emotional, and spiritual ailments. After suffering an on-the-job injury and responding negatively to allopathic medication, I found relief and healing in alternative medicine. In practice for 6 years, I provide energy balancing services such as herbal medicine consults, Reiki and crystal therapy, wellness life coaching, and hypnotherapy. Also, spiritual healing services such as past life and childhood regression, divination readings, and cord cutting. I also formulate products to relieve pain, discomfort, and other physical and emotional imbalances within and on the body. Starting a business is a daunting task, especially when you embark on that journey alone. So I joined the LGBT Chamber of Commerce in 2020 and discovered a whole world of support and resources for both small and large businesses alike. It is important for me to be visible as a Black transgender business owner because the world needs to acknowledge and understand that we exist. We are here. We live, we breathe, we work, we pay taxes, we're raising our families, we are building loving and supportive connections with people, with nature, with the universe at large. Just like you, we are human too.
I love seeing all of these inspiring stories and learning about the great work our incredible TGX suppliers are doing. It is now my pleasure to welcome the co-chair of the NGLCC TGX Community Outreach Committee, immediate past chair of the TGX Initiative, and founder of Empowering Differences, my friend Ashley Brundage. Welcome, Ashley.
Well, thank you so much, Gabrielle. I'm super honored to lead this amazing panel of experts and proud out entrepreneurs who represent an amazing spectrum of the TGX community. We're here, we're out, we're loud, we're proud, we're ready. And I can't think of a better way to introduce them, but then let them introduce themselves. So let's just move around the room here based on how I see them in the Zoom, because I know that we're in Zoom world. So let's start with Braxton. And Brax, I have to tell you, Stealth Bros and Co's are rocking it. So I'm excited to hear a little bit what you have cooking.
Yes, thank you so much. As you know, I'm Braxton Fleming, founder and CEO of Stealth Bros & Co. We are a luxury dock kit supply company that provides travel and at-home personal storage for medical and personal needs. And we are also revolutionizing the way that we see and feel about sharps disposal currently right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And next up on the docket, we have Mars and life on Mars. I know that we have a lot going on in this world, and you're going to take us to another world.
Hey everyone, my name is Mars Wright. I'm the founder and CEO of Life on Mars. We are a clothing and apparel company. Well, I make all kinds of clothes, things that say trans joy is resistance, God is trans, queer love exists. We do jackets, bombers, pants, shorts, shirts, tank tops, prints. We're branching out into the home goods space. So yeah, just trying to share art, spread positivity and trans joy and representation. And so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and honored to be on a panel with so many friends and other business owners that I really look up to.
It's like we're reshaping the world of entrepreneurship every moment. So thank you. And last but certainly not least, or we saved the best for last, Jill Rhodes is here to tell us a little bit about what she has going on.
Hi, Ashley. Thanks. Yeah, my name is Jill Rhodes, and I'm the president CEO of Envirotech Systems. Envirotech Systems, also known as Mediclean Air Pros, and we're an HVAC company. We do air duct cleaning, air duct sealing, and indoor air quality consulting in the Atlanta area and the greater Southeast. I've been affiliated with the company for nearly 30 years. I've been the owner for 24 years. Next month, actually. So I transitioned about 10 years midway through my tenure there. So that was quite interesting to make that transition and also be a business owner at the same time. So thank you for letting me be here. I'm excited to be on the panel.
Well, we're excited to have you and everyone. Oh my goodness, I'm thrilled. And you know, as you all know, probably I send everyone all a bunch of questions to really get them thinking. So we really want to take this world and shift the narrative, or the way that our community, our TGX community, is viewed. And in order to do that, we have to be out, we have to be loud, we have to be proud. And I'm just curious, as it relates to being present, being visible, especially in this world right now. I mean, there's so much happening politically, that, and just really some not nice things as well, which is just, it's just mind-blowingly difficult sometimes. And I'm just wondering, what do each of you do, to be present and visible while it's just not necessarily easy? I don't know. I'm seeing some head nodding, so maybe we'll go to Mars first. What do you think?
Sure, yeah, I'd love to take that. Yeah, I definitely want to hold space for what's going on in the news and the media right now. It's definitely a hard time to be trans, and that's really honestly what keeps me visible. For me, like, I'm a business owner and I'm sharing my art, and it's really more than that. Like, I always say, it's really hard to be something that you can't see, and to be just really vulnerable. When I was young, I truly believed that I shouldn't come out, because if I came out as trans, I would have to live a stealth life, or I could never tell anybody. I wouldn't have friends, I wouldn't have opportunities. And it's because I didn't see anybody that looked like me. I didn't really see happy trans men. I mean, the first trans man that I saw was like on the cover of those really scary magazines, like, oh, the pregnant man, and it was not about him as a person, what he was bringing to the world, his value. And so that's why I really want to be visible, because I don't want anybody to ever have to feel like I felt as a kid. That coming out and being trans was also a death sentence for like having a happy life. And that's why so much of my stuff is about trans joy, trans positivity, queer love exists. Like, I want to wear it on clothes because I need to be reminded of it all the time. Like, I still sometimes get in that funk of that scared, traumatized kid, but that's not the reality I want to live in. And I want to live in a world where I'm able to be that representation, so people don't have to feel so alone and so scared. And no, like literally 5 years ago, if you would have told me, oh my God, Mars, you're going to have a clothing line that people are going to love, and like, you are a trans founder and trans is at the forefront of the thing that you make, I would have been like, no way, that's not possible. And now it's possible. And I hope that I can encourage the young trans folks to just like keep going. And like, what is a reason that you can wake up in the morning is really what we need to tell trans youth. And so that's why it's so important.
Yeah, and you said the word stealth, so that immediately makes me think about Brax's company. What were you going to say about this, Brax?
Yes, no, I feel like in order to be present, you have to just show up authentically every single day. And, in the beginning of my transition, that was really hard for me. I didn't know how to place myself in this new world that I was entering. And as I realized how much strength that, my trans brothers had before me by coming out and making videos and showing themselves, that showed me like, hey, you can also be a part of this too. And that's really where Stealth Bros came about. Was I wanted to be a part of that community. I wanted to build awareness around trans people and Black trans business owners. That was really, really important for me. And as far as Stealth, our name is Stealth Bros & Co., but we're stealth because of the items that we keep, not because of who we are. We're founded on the brotherhood of F2M individuals and companies and all the allied companies that we keep, the F2M, diabetics, IVF clients, etc. So just being visible for all marginalized communities, not just, being trans, but just for everyone who's looked down upon. I want to open the doors for those individuals and focus on that and keep being present and visible as much as I can, so that, it's one thing being trans, but when you're Black and trans, you have a whole nother dimension that you're fighting. So being who I am authentically every day and just showing up is super important. And that's what I do during these times.
And not to take us on a derailing, but can you just amplify that just one more time? I mean, the intersectionality of what we're talking about here when it's multiple identities, because I think,
yes. I mean, it's just, like I stated, it's polarizing times now, but I've been living in polarizing times my entire life. You know what I mean? Even as a female, I was still in polarizing times, even though I did grow up in a more fortunate circumstances than a lot of my Black peers. But at the end of the day, like, I'm still, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm still seen as a Black person, period. And that is outside of trans, and that's a whole nother polarizing thing that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, even just driving my car, if I have a do-rag on or anything like that, I have to focus on that. So just being a human being in general and showing up every day is super essential, just to show people that we're out here and it's okay. And, we don't have to be looked down upon because we're Black and trans or Italian and trans or Chinese and trans. It doesn't matter who you are, you know what I mean? Or you're a diabetic and trans or whatever the case may be. So I think just focusing on just trying to be out, proud, loud, and visible, and just peaceful and kind to human beings, period. You know what I mean? That's my goal and my focus. So I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So sorry to put you right back on the spot again.
No,
there.
that's okay.
I felt that it was like really a moment to amplify what you were saying. And another intersection here, Jill, I mean, honestly, what you do surrounding your visibility, you have a lot of intersections too. I think this might be a good time to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm in a business. It's an HVAC business. It's primarily a manly business, So I had a lot of challenges when I first came out in dealing with that, because we're HVAC, we're a federal contractor, and but I live my life every day just being me, and I don't really express the trans part of me, although it's obvious. And I think I'm a pretty gregarious person anyway. And I make friends easily, and people accept me pretty well. So I sort of walk through the world being me as Jill, a female. And I know there's resistance, but I kind of live above that resistance often. So my life is pretty good, all in all. I just go along and do my job, and I'm good at my job. So I don't get a ton of pushback in who I am as a person. And I really, when I first transitioned, thought that I would. I was really, really petrified in transitioning. I even thought about selling my company and doing something totally different. But all in all, I've been really well accepted through the whole process. We talked a bit about me being a veteran, and I have a service connected disability, and that's been somewhat of a help too, because there's some circles where that's really positive for me, being a veteran, and then being a trans veteran as well. There's some groups, TAVA, for example, is Transgender American Veterans Association, that I'm a member of. There's things there that are very helpful, day to day, just dealing with issues. But I've been very fortunate, and just being who I am, and being Jill, and not living my life and loving myself, being myself. And I think that has a lot more to do with our success in the grand scheme of things in society than does being terribly worried about how we're going to be accepted. And of course, sometimes we're not. Sometimes we run into that situation where we're not accepted, and you just deal with those as they pop up, and do your best in them.
Yeah, you hit so many key points here, and it's just thank you for your service, number one, because I mean, I have so much respect. I grew up in a military family, and I have so much respect for those that have served. And let's just let's amplify TAVA for a moment again as well, because the work they do is groundbreaking. And if you haven't followed them, tava.org, you need to go there. You need to sign up. You need to get on the mailing list so you can see all the amazing stuff they're doing to amplify trans veterans, because it's really impactful. And to this point around being visible and being present, it's such an interesting intersection, because, a lot of people they would never even think that someone like in our community could be a veteran and could have served our country. So it's one of those really amazing intersections that I think is so important to highlight and talk about, and it can really change someone's mind or heart. Has that ever have you crossed that path? I have a lot of veteran friends in the trans space. I'm just curious if you've crossed that path.
What path?
Where potentially like someone has never even thought that could be the case, and then
Oh,
you
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of change the heart and mind.
Well, I mean, one of the things being a trans female is most people think about veterans as men, right? So to be a female veteran and be a trans female veteran, there's times that it comes up, and it really becomes a good talking point. One of the things I like is I like when people that I run into are really curious, and not so much, having animus towards us, but are curious and want to learn about trans people. So I really like taking those opportunities and answering questions and explaining who we are. And to do that seems to, to be educative seems to go a lot further in helping people understand than anything else we can do. And not being afraid about talking about who we are, what we've experienced, how we've gotten here. Those things are really, really helpful to people to understand those things.
I almost think that you're talking about the difference between cancel culture and council culture.
Exactly.
Because
Right.
it's a lot easier to sometimes press the cancel or block or delete button.
Right.
Grand scheme of things of us actually making change, we sometimes have to take the time necessary to counsel people.
Exactly.
So speaking of taking the time, I know that there's a lot of work about being out and being visible, and it can definitely burn you out. So I don't know maybe Mars, do you want to kick us off on what do you do to prevent burnout in this space?
Yeah, burnout is major. I feel like just for any small business owner. I mean, me and Braxton have emailed before, and like he's in between nursing, I'm in between consulting, like, and we're trying to hustle. So I like hold space for burnout for any small business owner. And then you add on, being a trans person, and like half of what I have to do is post on the internet about being trans. And so there's just a lot of labor that comes in with getting those hateful comments, getting those comments that say, you're not a real man, I don't need to go into them, but we all know what they look like. And so I think that adds a different level of burnout on top of the workload that all small business owners hold. And what do I do to kind of handle that? I think honestly, sometimes my mind will fixate on the negative more than the positive. But at the end of the day, when I really get reflective and look at it, the amount of positivity and love and acceptance and respect that I get on every single post is like 10 times outweighs those hateful comments. And so that really helps me with burnout, to know people are really out here supporting me. And then I think another part of that, what I've really had to learn as a small business owner is I need to ask for help a lot of the times. And like organizations like the NGLCC really give me that opportunity to reach out for help, to know that's really not my specialty, but maybe somebody else has dealt with this, or maybe there's another connection that I can make. And then being able to offer help to other folks that might not understand the same things that I do. Because we are a community at the end of the day. We are trying to uplift each other, and there's abundance and prosperity for trans folks out there. So yeah, just reaching out, asking for help, being in community, reaching out and being involved with other business owners, and just trying to keep as positive as possible, and also holding space for the negatives. Like the reality of life is sometimes these things happen. I can feel a little sad about that, but I can also move on and ask for more help. So that's what I try and do.
All right. What other kind of burnout prevention tactics do we have for the trans TGX community? Who wants this next? Maybe
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I keep myself busy doing things outside of work. I have a boat and a camper for one thing, so I like to go down to the Gulf and go fishing and diving and so forth. And I play competitive pool. So I do that several nights a week. And that's more helpful than anything, because in doing that, I'm in communion with a lot of different people, many different people. I mean, I have certain friends that I shoot with and compete with, but I play a lot of league play and I play a lot of tournament play. Going down next month to Orlando for the West Coast Challenge, going to Vegas in May for a national championship. So those things keep my mind from getting, from just burning out. So just hobbies and so forth. But again, being out in front of people and being in the mainstream all the time really kind of keeps things fresh for me.
And it's interesting, you mentioned pool and you mentioned Vegas. So this is the moment where I do a PR plug that
Right.
if you haven't thought about registering for the NGLCC conference, now's the time, because I want to see you all there in person. And maybe we might hit the pool bowl around a little bit. And I might surprise you. I might have a little bit of hidden pool talent myself.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Braxton, what do you have going on here in this lowering of burnout?
Just to focus on the question, how do I prevent it? I really don't think that you can prevent burnout, especially when your business is your life and your passion. I think that you put so much time and effort into it every single day that burnout is bound to happen at some point. But what I do personally on a day-to-day basis is that health is wealth to me. So hitting the gym and making sure that I spend that time with myself every day for at least an hour to get that meditation vibe in. Excuse me. Sorry about that. To get that meditation vibe in and just to really like dial in on my thoughts and to just give some time to myself before I dive into emails, dive into the orders. That helps me on a day-to-day. And then of course, prayer, because prayer is always number one in my life. And I think that just taking the time out to cry, a lot of people don't like to hear this, but crying is essential. Okay. Crying releases so much for you. And sometimes when you're a business owner, you carry so much weight that you burn out. And at that burnout, sometimes a good cry, a good pray, and then you can release it and feel refreshed. I know that I do at the end. I have a little bit of a mirror talk. I pray to the universe. And then I let out a good cry because I've been holding it in for so long, being so strong for everybody else, that I need to release that. And once I do, I feel like a new rejuvenated person. And I always feel like blessings pour in after that moment. So I think that just taking time out to yourself day to day, at least an hour for meditation, yoga, whatever it is that suits your needs. And then, if you've been going hard for a long time, being real strong for a long time, which it is hard, it's okay to cry. And it's good to be vulnerable with yourself and to be real with yourself.
Vulnerable, real. I love it. It's interesting that you touched so much on mindfulness. As the leadership and empowerment expert, I have to tell you, empowerment is largely connected to how you move in your frame of mind.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm right there with you.
Okay, good.
In fact, I'm literally building a conference for empowerment, and so we're going to have mindfulness sessions and meditation sessions built into the agenda, specifically because of what you're mentioning, and it totally addresses it for us in our community. It's because we're back to this. We're all navigating all the stuff at the same time.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that this kind of really transitions us well to the next question on our handy list, which is what is the biggest challenge you face and how do you overcome it? Because at the end of the day, right, we still have to fight through. We have to, no matter what we're going through in the polarizing times, no matter what we're doing around being burnt out, because we know it's going to happen. Thanks for calling me out on that one. But mitigating it, right? Mitigate burnout at least a little bit. But what are the challenges? I mean, we know all the challenges. I mean, if there's a new challenge that isn't out there, please share it. but what are we doing to actually overcome these challenges? And I'm like thinking about, so what are we doing to overcome these challenges? And I'm trying to figure out who should we go to first.
I can jump in real quick. I'll be fast. I think that it says, what is the biggest challenge and, how do you overcome it? But the biggest challenge is you're in your way. And once you realize that you are your only challenge, you're able to address challenges or problems in a different format. You're able to have a different perspective. And as long as it's not going to kill you, I think that it'll be okay. Even if your business was a shutdown, even if things were to get crazy, you will not die from that. And as long as you stand in your power and realize that you are the only one stopping you, your emotions are stopping you, your thoughts are stopping you. Once you focus on that, you'll be able to say, okay, let me handle that. And then let's move forward. So really, it's just you against you.
That's powerful. Okay. You're setting the bar really high, Braxton. Come on now.
I'm sorry.
All right. What is the other biggest challenges that we have? I know there's you. I got you on that one. Well, Mars, what are you thinking? Oh.
I'll go.
Okay.
I guess my biggest challenge is like in any corporate world today is just being female, and trying to have people respect you and hear you as a female. Of course, being president CEO is helpful in that, but still, even my employees sometimes find it difficult just to be able to hear me because I'm a female. And I, quite frankly, I don't really know how you overcome that. I wish I did. I wish I was better at it, but I just keep plugging along day in and day out. And, we're doing okay in making it. And I've got a good support staff that helps me with that. My key people pretty well hear me and listen to what I'm saying. But even then, sometimes I get pushback. It's just because, there's such a dichotomy in a man's world and a woman's world, and people expect a man to be, doling out the orders. And when it's a female, things aren't received quite as well sometimes. So I wish I had the answer to that challenge. I really do, but I don't have the answer to it. So if any of you guys can help me with that, I'd appreciate it. But that's my biggest challenge.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I see that in the work that I do, and Braxton is right. You and how you receive that information and how you process it is very much a true statement. I do think that there are some other things that we can do to kind of overcome that. I think that surrounding yourself with other people, right? Because when we're only self-IDing and we're just one entrepreneur, and somebody, we don't have anybody who's got our back, right? So I think surrounding yourself with others is important. So if you're watching right now, put your handle in the chat, and use the HTTP thing with the LinkedIn, so someone can literally just click and connect to you right now. That's a good way. So that way we're not alone. And honestly, maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm betting that every one of us leading this on this panel right now would be there for you in a heartbeat if you needed anything. So
thank you.
Yeah. Braxton, are you going to add something on that?
I was just saying amen to that. I'm with you. If you ever need help, I will be that man to stand up for you, because I see that happening even from my own transition. I transitioned at 27 years old. And I was 7 years in my nursing career. And then when I did transition and I was passing, things shifted for me. And, it's wild, but just know that I'm here for you. And, I'm always taking that stand. If I see it with my coworkers and I see, aides that work underneath me aren't listening to my female counterpart, then, I say, look, you listen to me, so don't give her a hard time. There's no reason for it. So I always try to stand up in that aspect because I know that feeling 100%.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And if you're an ally watching today, this is also a mic drop opportunity for you to amplify someone if they're getting misgendered, right? If they're getting hassled, especially when you're navigating additional intersections, like we talked about earlier. This is that opportunity to stand up. If you see something, you better say something. You better take action. Ally is not a passable word. It's a verb. Okay. It requires you to take action. So let's not forget that either. All right. So we have I've been saving this question because this is definitely one of my favorites, because advice that can drive empowerment for people is in the lane which my brand moves every day. All of you have very successful companies and are making moves. What's the advice that you have for the future, right? So youth or future TGX entrepreneurs, TGX youth. What do you have that you want to say to them that's going to really give them that oomph forward? And Mars, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I just want to echo, the beautiful words of Braxton and Jill, and what you were saying as well, Ashley, about allies being an active word. I think that was really beautiful. And I think that goes hand in hand with like what I would tell young folks, other folks that want to become entrepreneurs, is that there is in my head, sometimes I feel like there's not a lot of help, but there are a lot of folks out there that support you, love you, that want to uplift you, that want to share resources, that want to get you to the places that you want to be. And for me, I would really just tell folks, like, please do it. Like, please just do it. Like, there's so much abundance. There's so much opportunity out there for us. And all we have to do is just like Braxton was saying, just keep doing one day at a time, little actions to get to your goals. Reach out for support, reach out for help, and cry. Like Braxton was saying, again, man, I've learned so much from you today. Cry, get it out there. But like, just don't give up. That's the number one thing I would say. Just don't give up. There's been so many times when I've almost given up. Like, this brand fully started from me having $10 in my bank account, not knowing how I was going to get to pay my next meal, and saying, I'm going to literally hand draw on some t-shirts, post them on my Instagram, and like, maybe somebody will buy them so that I can afford food like tomorrow. And it worked. And I just kept doing the next thing over and over again. And there were so many times when I was like, this isn't going to work. Like, I'm going to fail. This is not going to happen. And again, I just kept doing tiny little actions. So I really just encourage everybody, please keep going and don't give up, and reach out for support and help. Because like, there are organizations like the NGLCC, and there are folks that want to help you. All of the folks on this panel, a lot of the folks in the chat, I'm sure, would love to help you. So just please don't give up. We're really rooting for you. Like what's the America's Not Stop model? We're rooting for you.
That's awesome. Thanks, Mars. That was great. All right. So who else has that big one piece of advice for our youth or our future entrepreneurs? Braxton?
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I think the one piece of advice to echo off of Mars as well is to put yourself out there. That's the hardest thing. I had two entrepreneurial parents, and my dad's biggest thing he told me was that he was always afraid to speak to people. He was always afraid to go to the next man and ask or to network. And I really feel that networking is the key to success. Networking is the key to success, because the more people you talk to, the more that you'll know, the more opportunities will arise for you. And even if, which I always love to say about the NGLCC, because I just love NGLCC, period. I always preach about it. But the best thing about NGLCC is that you can network with so many other LGBTQ businesses, business owners. And even if that one person can't help you, still engage with that person. Still engage with that person, because 6 months down the line, a year down the line, you may be able to have a wonderful opportunity. And I just want to tell a quick story real quick because it's just beautiful. I was in the taco line in Florida at my first NGLCC conference. I met a woman who was a publicist for books. Okay. She was like, Braxton, I don't think I can do anything for you at this time because, you're just starting out, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, but it's really been a pleasure to meet you. And she said, such a pleasure to meet you. Let's stay in contact. I said, absolutely. Let's do it. 6 to 8 months later, she reached out to me and said, hey, I'm making a book about trans individuals. Would you love to be a part of it? And I said, absolutely. And now I'm in a book that was published. I mean, come on. I mean, that is it right there. And I'm just saying is that the networking will take you to the next level as long as you continue to attend the events, attend the webinars. It's all about being seen. Even if you only say a few words in the event, just keep going. So people see, they're like, you know what? I saw that Braxton at the other event. I'm going to reach out to him today. And that is how it works in business. That's how you really continue to move forward and to meet new people and open up the doors for new opportunities. So sorry, I was a rant, I feel like.
No, it's totally okay.
But yes, like focus on the networking opportunities and get within your community of your niche and really focus in on those individuals so that it can help you grow as an entrepreneur. And just, even as an individual, to grow and to just meet and to learn different perspectives so that you can grow as a person. So I think it's highly important.
And the real lives of transgender and non-binary humans,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Plug. It was a
Yeah,
beautiful
so we
book.
got to make sure you plug that because I know that's an LGBTBE.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's great. Thanks so much. All right, so Jill, what's that one piece of advice you have for our youth or future TGX entrepreneurs?
Well, it seems that quite often people say, Jill, you've been in business for 30 years. And so tell me what the secret to success in business is. So I'm kind of going in the other direction with this. And most of these people have never been in business and they think that there is like a secret to success. And I say, well, I'll tell you. But when I tell you, you're not going to be terribly impressed. And so I start telling the story. And when I come to it, I say that the secret to success in business is simply staying in business. And they kind of take a step back. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, well, the thing is, it takes a long time to ever really be successful. It takes 10, 15, 20 years literally before you can kind of step back and say, hey, I'm making money. I'm successful. So my piece of advice for TGX people who are going into business is just be prepared and be prepared for the long ride because it is a long ride. And you've got to, I use this term, but you've got to be prepared to gut it out every single day. You got to gut it out with your employees, your vendors, your customers, everybody, every single day. And that's the reason people quite often fail is because they're not aware of how hard it really is. And it really is, but it's rewarding at the same time, day in and day out. It's very, very difficult. And like Mara said, you just got to be willing to stay in the battle. And eventually you'll hit that point in your business life where you can step back and say, I'm successful. But it may be 20 years down the road. It literally may be that long.
Be in it, be ready, and it long term, right?
Well, businesses that are considered overnight successes have been in business an average of 15 years, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, thanks for that. So I know we're getting near the end, but I do have one more question. I know there's a lot going on in this current environment that we're still everyone's navigating supply chain issues and even our TGX businesses. And so I'm just curious, what are you all doing to navigate the current shipping and logistics stuff happening in this world?
Yeah, I'd love to take this. This has probably been the biggest, most difficult part of my business. And I know that it's a huge hurdle for a lot of folks. I was really lucky, and this goes back to my point of like just reaching out for help and support. One of my first corporate jobs, we had somebody do our merch, and again, like Braxton was saying, I didn't really know what was going on at the time, but I was a really good communicator. He really enjoyed working with me, and we got a really great rapport going. And so one day when I was like, I want to do my own thing, like I want to make my dreams happen, he was the first guy I called. And so he actually works directly at a print shop, and he really believed in me. And he's kind of like my mentor and just somebody that I deeply care about. And he's helped me with all the shipping and fulfillment. I have access to like embroidery, stippling, all these resources from the print shop because he owns the print shop. And I really encourage folks when they're building a business, specifically a retail or clothing business, to try and find resources locally. I know that it's really popular for folks to source from different places, but as much as you can get locally, whether that's shipping it from yourself at your house if you have the time, sourcing the things locally, it really saves a lot of hassle when you've been dealing with all these different parties. And I think that's where a lot of the shipping and fulfillment issues happen, is when you're dealing with all these parties and moving things around, it can get really difficult. So as much as you can like bring it in and then, yeah, just grind it out. What did you say, Jill? You said, I loved that term that you used for it. Gut it out, right?
Gut it out. That's right. You have
Gut
to-
it out. Yeah, you have to really just gut it out with shipping and fulfillment, 100%.
All right, Jill, how about you? Why don't we go to you
Yeah,
since we're gutting it out?
Well, I haven't. My business, we don't have a lot of things that we ship in. I mean, we're a service business, air duct cleaning. You know, we're using vacuum cleaners and rags, literally. So it's not an issue to get those. The only place I've run into it is trying to order parts for equipment. I've had to wait. I had to order an engine for one of my trailers, and it took 4 months to get the engine in. So, you know, that was something that we had to deal with, but we had another engine in the interim that we could use till it came in. So I just really haven't run into a lot of that, thankfully.
So, but ultimately the lesson there is to have backup supplies so that way you're ready for the navigating current environment where you never know where you're going to get your goods and items. And Braxton, what about you?
I think the best way to navigate it is to just try to be ahead of the game. And that is pretty much how I tackle, a lot of people have asked me during the COVID and everything, because my products are manufactured overseas. So to get them here during COVID, people were like, oh, well, were you losing business and so forth. But I had already been in business about, what was that? Dang, how long ago was that now? So almost 3 years at that time. And I was prepared. I was prepared for the new year. I was prepared to order ahead. So when COVID hit, I wasn't in a bad place because I had just received all my orders, all my shipments, and I try to stay ahead of the game. I try to analyze my inventory to know that, okay, this is how much it takes for production. This is how much it could take for logistics to get here. So I try to do calculations and be ahead of the game in order to avoid those things. And so far, so good. It's been really good. I haven't had any major delays. And with one product that I did release, there was a delay, but it wasn't anything like traumatizing to the business. It was just something that I just held back to release at a later date, which was fine. But I always move on God's time. So if there's a little bit of slow shipping, then that's just God's way of slowing me down for that product for that moment. So I just look at it with a positive mindset and move forward.
Perfect. Thanks so much. So I have to tell you that we've touched on so many things. I do this work surrounding empowerment every day, and one of the big frameworks on my system is empowering actions, and it helps organizations really drive empowerment for their employees. And it's interesting, we touched on so many of the actions during our time together in this panel, from empowerment to inclusive environments and inclusion, to access and how you provide access for people. And then Mars even mentioned mentoring and how mentorship is so important. Those are all part of my framework and the work that I do. So I think it's just amazing to hear that how you all are using these empowering actions every day to drive that change. And systematically, that's literally what our TGX community needs. It needs all of you to continue to be visible, out, proud, grow your businesses, make the impact, and come and talk to all of us, because we've all here said that we're available anytime you need us. A big round of applause to this amazing panel. I'm so honored to have led this conversation for you all. You all rocked it. And I'd like to turn it over to Sarah Jester, the manager of digital media at NGLCC. So let's go.
Hi, my name is Sarah Jester and my pronouns are they, them. I am the digital media manager at the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, and I identify as non-binary and as part of the TGX community. To me, it is incredibly important to be visible as a non-binary media professional because just a few years ago, I did not think that was a possibility for me, since I did not have any older non-binary people in my life at the time. Now I feel really grateful to have been welcomed into the community with open arms and am lucky to have multiple non-binary professional role models in my life. I think that the best thing that allies can do for the TGX community is to be ready to consistently re-educate themselves, but also be willing to not fully understand our experience. I feel that the way that I exist in my own body as a non-binary person is so precious and unique that it is not meant to be understood by cisgender people. For me, the best thing an ally can do to validate my experience is by listening to me and by using my pronouns first and foremost. Finally, I want to take a moment of silence to acknowledge and honor our trans siblings that we have lost in 2022. Thank you. Today, we've talked a lot about visibility. It is important for us as members of the TGX community to be out, visible, and proud, to show our siblings that they are not alone and that they have our protection and solidarity in a time and place where it can be dangerous to still be authentically ourselves. That's why I'm very excited to introduce another round of trailblazing TGX business owners that are here today to share in Trans Day of Visibility and to tell you their stories. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Rhodes Perry here. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am the founder of Rhodes Perry Consulting, and every day I get to help inclusive leaders just like you build more psychological safety, trust, and belonging, all to transform the culture of our workplaces. And in my best-selling book, Belonging at Work, I write about possibility models. And I'm going to share this with you because that's a part of what this day is about on Trans Day of Visibility. A possibility model is a person who reveals one possible way of being human in this world that resonates with another person. The phrase, "you have to see it to be it," helps one understand the power and importance of possibility models. And that's why I'm sharing with you the definition. That's why I am an out transgender man in my business, because I think of my younger self. I think of how powerful it would have been to see someone like myself further on in their life and in their career, really in alignment with their passion, purpose, and what they do every day. So I wanted to share that with you, also to inspire you to continue showing up as authentically as you want at work. And thinking about that impact, sometimes the impact that you never know that you have on another person, and to celebrate that. That to me is an aspect of some of the core elements of belonging. Being seen for who you are, being valued for that, which creates more connection and allows people to understand what you need so you can do your best work. And for all of us to feel a greater sense of pride because we're showing up in alignment with who we are each and every day. And that's what today is about. So I'm delighted to be here. I want to thank NGLCC for the event. And I want to thank each and every one of you all for being here today and building stronger relationships with us.
Hi there. My name is Gabrielle Claiborne, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am co-founder and CEO of Transformation Journeys Worldwide, an NGLCC certified trans-owned LGBT business enterprise. As an inclusion training and consulting firm with a trans and gender expansive focus, we help cutting-edge organizations position themselves to attract and retain the best talent. By creating fully trans and gender expansive inclusive cultures, organizations foster collaborative working environments, which maximizes innovation and positively impacts their bottom line. As a certified LGBT BE, we emerge from the vetting process as a supplier of choice because we bring added value to our clients by helping them achieve their supplier diversity goals. When it comes to TGX entrepreneurs, I believe our visibility is one of our superpowers. Not only is our decision to be visible invitations to other TGX individuals who are considering next steps in their own vocational journey, but our visibility also substantiates and demonstrates our determination and capability to bring authentic solutions and services to our customers. We only know one way to show up, and that's all in. And when our clients experience this level of commitment and professionalism, it sets a precedent that hiring TGX business owners is good for business.
Hi, I'm Jackie Richter. I use the pronouns she and her. I'm the president of Endurance Utility Services and Heels and Hard Hats Contracting. We offer a buffet of services in the energy industry. I want to tell you how important it is to be visible today. We are the people that make the change in our communities. Whether you're gay, lesbian, or transgender, there's no change that's going to be happening if we live in a life of fear. It's important to my transgender brothers and sisters that we're out. It's important that we make a difference, more so than anything, to change the lives of those people that follow us. I believe as a transgender business owner, it's important to show we are part of life. We are part of the business community. And through NGLCC and my certifications, I can drive that message even further. I encourage all of you to take part and be active in your community, be active in your chamber. And most importantly, if you're a transgender business, join NGLCC. It is the driving force of our LGBT community.
Hi, folks. A happy Transgender Day of visibility to you all. My name is Rex Wild. I use they and them pronouns, and I'm the founder of Rex Wild Consulting, where I work with corporations and businesses on initiatives around TGX inclusion, both through training and direct consulting. Now, I love Transgender Day of Visibility. It's one of my favorite honorific days of the year. And I think it's so important for me to be visible as a TGX small business owner so that I can be a role model and a possibility model for the generations of the future. I didn't have many role models coming out as a non-binary person. In fact, it took me until the age 24 to even hear the word non-binary for the first time. And so being able to see TGX individuals who are living their truth and absolutely thriving is such an incredible gift and blessing. And I want to be able to show the younger generations that it is possible to not only be themselves, but to thrive in this world doing what they love. So a happy Transgender Day of Visibility to you all. I am so appreciative to be a part of the NGLCC and to be an LGBTBE.
Hey, my name is Mars Wright. My pronouns are he and him, and my business is called Life on Mars. It's a retail business. I make clothes, anything ranging from jackets, t-shirts, button-ups, all of it, and all of it has my art on it that centers trans joy, vulnerability, and just overall love and acceptance. I say that I think being vulnerable is a radical act, and I hope that through sharing my life vulnerably, I might be able to help somebody else. Why is it important for me to be a trans business owner? Because I've never seen a trans business owner before. I get DMs and comments all the time from young kids that are like, I never thought that I could grow up and be out as trans and also be successful doing something that is so cool, doing something that I love. Like, people really still don't believe that that's possible, and you can't be something until you see it. So I hope that by somebody seeing me being a trans business owner, following my dreams, making art that centers trans voices, that centers the trans community, and be successful, I hope that changes somebody's life. And I know I had a lot of times in my life when I was a young trans kid and I didn't think it was going to be worth it. I didn't think life was ever going to get better. And I just needed to see that somebody else had done something that life got better. And I hope that I can be that for somebody. I think one of the silliest questions that I get on my comments or on my website is, can I still buy your clothes if I'm not trans? Yes, please. Please buy my clothes if you're not trans. Please show up. Please wear a shirt that says, I love trans people if you are not trans. Please wear a hat that has your pronouns on it, that even though you're not trans. Please, because that shows that you support us. That shows that you want to elevate us. That shows that you want to put your money where your mouth is. And it shows that you care about the trans community more than just quietly saying it. You want to wear it in public. You want to be out loud with your support. So yeah, wear your support loudly. Tell people that you love trans people. Tell people that you support trans people. Purchase from trans-owned businesses like Life on Mars, and show the world that you love trans people. I don't want to have to do all of the labor all of the time. So it's really nice to see another person, an ally out there who's willing to educate themselves, put their money where their mouth is, and support the community through real action.
Hello again. I want to thank all of our LGBTBEs, our moderator, Ashley T. Brundage, my co-chair, Gabrielle Claiborne, and each of our attendees for participating in today's event. Today would not be possible without each of your stories and your presence. I want to encourage everyone to stay tuned for more great work that we have planned for the NGLCC TGX initiative in 2022. Take care for now.